Austin Rivers won back-to-back Florida 6A state championships, 2010, 2011. Named Naismith Prep Player of the Year in 2011. Was selected to be a McDonald's All-American. Was one of the top high school players of his era and of our generation. To be honest, he came in during the internet buzz and he made Who Mixtape what it was. Austin Rivers' high school career was legendary. His college career, he played at Duke. He averaged 15.5 points. He was named ACC Rookie of the Year. He was selected to the All-ACC first team. And he hit, of course, one of the greatest game-winning shots in NCAA history. Even though it wasn't a national championship game, it wasn't in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. And these guys didn't even make it to the Elite 8 that year. But he hit one of the biggest shots in college basketball against Duke. In his NBA career, it was good. I mean, he bounced around. He played with a lot of teams, but this was a guy who played 11 seasons in the NBA and had a career high of 40 points.
108. Now he's got 40 and a chance for 41, and he makes both.
If you score 40 points in the NBA, I mean, you are already one of the best players ever, because you play in the NBA. So you are one of the best basketball players on the planet. Yes. But Austin Rivers, these accolades are great. But once you start to talk down on people who like the game of basketball and enjoy the game of basketball, we have a problem. We have a huge problem here. Welcome to the Daily Thinker, where we talk about theology and basketball. Today, I'm going to talk about Austin Rivers because I saw a video on his podcast and it irked me. It really annoyed me. The way that some NBA players can have these lofty attitudes towards non-NBA players. We saw it a ton of times last year when NBA players say, hey, if you haven't played in the NBA, you really shouldn't be speaking on the NBA, or you shouldn't be dissecting the game of basketball. Like, you don't know what you're doing. We don't see people do that with football or hockey or soccer or whatever. But when it comes to basketball, everybody thinks they know about basketball. So if you haven't been the man in the arena, we heard LeBron say that a ton of times. If you're not the man in the arena, you have no weight to critique the man in the arena. But anyway, let's get into the video from Austin Rivers.
I hate that basketball is the only sport.
I hate. That's a strong word to use. Hate. Not that I disagree, I don't like it, but I hate that basketball is the only sport. You hate it? Austin, really? You hate it?
That people who have zero history of playing it just think they can play it. You don't go to your local LA Fitness, YMCA, basketball, whatever, I don't know, wherever your gym is, right? And go play pickup football or pickup baseball or pickup soccer. But basketball is...
A ton of people do play pickup soccer, but basketball, the sport, is made to play pickup. Football is not made to play pickup. Baseball is not made to play pickup. Basketball is made to play pickup basketball. I mean, that's basketball. It was built off pickup basketball. Then it went to official basketball, of course. But Austin Rivers, like, if you don't like people playing pickup basketball and you hate, you said it, not me. You said you hate with this strong verb. I hate anyone who hasn't played the game, has no knowledge of the game, but they get to play this sport. What's going on? All you guys at the park right now, go sit down. Go back home. If you've never played this sport, if you don't have no knowledge about the history of the game of basketball, you shouldn't be allowed to play. So Austin Rivers, did you go through a course study? Okay, you probably did. Doc Rivers is your dad. You are the son of an NBA player and an NBA coach. So maybe you got sat down and you had a lesson one-on-one about the history of basketball, the do's and don'ts, how it was built, how to play basketball, the fundamentals, all of that. You sat down and had a crash course. Maybe you did, but I don't think you did. Okay, I don't think you did. So according to your standard, Austin Rivers, if you have no knowledge about the game, you shouldn't be playing a game of basketball. Then we won't have Austin Rivers, because to play the game of basketball, I mean, it starts out with really having no knowledge about the game. You fall in love with the game, then you start to learn more about it. You don't go study the game of basketball and then say, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to play the game of basketball. It doesn't work like that. It didn't work like that for you. And this goes back to this lofty, this high and mighty attitude that some NBA players have that other people who are not a part of the NBA community, who are not in the NBA, they can't enjoy a simple game of basketball. Really? Come on, Austin. This is an L.
It's one of the very few sports that everyone plays and everyone thinks they can play.
Basketball is one of the few sports that everyone plays. Yes, because it's one of the most popular sports in the world. It's a global game, unlike football, American football. I'm not talking about football as in soccer. That is a global game. A ton of people play pickup soccer. Okay. I live in North Carolina. People play pickup soccer. Maybe not in my hometown of Mississippi, but people play pickup soccer. Basketball is just a sport where people who don't have a good skill set or don't know much about the game can just go enjoy it, exercise. Okay. They can enjoy it and exercise. That's what most people want to do, Austin. We just want to get off work, okay? Go to our local LA Fitness, go to our local YMCA, go to a rec center, play pickup basketball, sweat, go home, have a good time. Nobody I know. I go to a rec center. Nobody at that rec center thinks that they're going pro or going to the NBA, okay? That dream is washed if you're past the age of 20 and you're not playing high college basketball. It possibly could be washed. But Austin, why? Like, and what's wrong with people thinking they can play basketball? Is that a crime? Is that a crime? Is that a crime that people think they can play basketball, even if they're not as good as you? And that's the problem. Austin Rivers, like, you guys really don't appreciate the game. This game is difficult. It's hard. I dissect it. It's so many nuances to the game, but you regular Joes, you guys think you really know how to play this. I am the one who knows how to play this game because I went to the NBA, because I was in the NBA and I played for over a decade over a decade. So I have some type of authority in this game. And this is just crazy.
And everyone thinks they're better than what they are, including their kids or whatever they do. But I go to these leagues sometimes just play for fun, just because my homies.
Austin, everybody thinks they are better than what they are. You yourself, I'm pretty sure you thought you were better than what you were. That statement is true, not just for the average Joe who doesn't play in the NBA. That is true for NBA players. So Austin Rivers, you have to raise your hand and say, hey, I've been caught. It's been a number of times throughout my basketball career. I thought I was better than what I was. Austin Rivers, when you got drafted, I'm pretty sure you thought that you were a top 3 pick. In that case, someone can say you thought you were better than what you were, even though you are one of the best basketball players on the planet because you play in the NBA, but you did at a point in your life, Austin, think that you were better than what you were. And that's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. But once you walk around with a certain arrogance and act like you're just much better than people and you're not that good, that's a problem. Okay. That's a problem for a player that's in the NBA. And that's for a problem with a non-NBA player. And most of the times people get exposed. NBA players and non-NBA players get exposed when it comes to that. Oh.
I'll just go have some good time. Some guy like pick me up full court and be like, I'm like, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're.
Okay, this man called somebody an idiot because they're picking him up full court. Like, I'm Austin Rivers. You know you can't guard me, so you should just let me score. You should just give me a pathway, a lane, prepare a highway for me to the basket because I'm Austin Rivers. And why are you playing defense on me? Like, you are an idiot. This man, a idiot just because he's doing what the game of basketball requires someone to do. It requires you to play pickup full court defense in some cases. And people, they want to see, hey, if you're really that good as an NBA player, let me see. The average Joe can do that. The average Joe can have a a mindset and say, hey, I want to see if he's really that good. And we know Austin Rivers is much better. And the 15th man, the D League, the player, I mean, the G League, not the D League, the G League player, the overseas player, the NIA, the D3 player is better than your average guy or your best guy at your rec center. So we know that. Austin Rivers, what do you expect people to do? Just let you go to the basket just because I'm Austin Rivers? I should be able to go to the basket. No, it doesn't work like that. This game, this sport requires people to play defense. So if you go to a local gym or pickup to go play pickup basketball, just because you're an NBA player doesn't mean that people shouldn't play defense on you or pick you up full court. Now the person is an idiot. Like you have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing. Like
Doing. And I'll like go around them and dunk or like hit a three and they're like, whoa, man, you're so much better than I thought you were. But like, you're a moron. I'm one of the best players on the planet. You don't even know what you're talking about, bro. I played in the NBA for 11 years. You're out of your mind.
That's true. That is definitely true. It's so many people who think that they can go to the NBA or score a point or hit a three or hit two threes in the NBA. Like, oh, I could have did that. I could have got to the basket. I could have got it past Draymond Green. I can get past Isaiah Thomas. Like when Isaiah Thomas was playing for the Boston Celtics, a ton of people were like, man, I could score on Isaiah Thomas. No, you can't. You cannot score in the NBA. If you're not an NBA player, if you're not a high level player in the G League or whatever, it's tough for them to get buckets in the NBA. So I don't expect someone to walk off the street and say, yeah, I can go get a bucket. And so for people, I can see why Austin Rivers is like irritated. Like, you guys really think you are able to compete with me? I can see why that would irritate him. Okay. I give you that. I give you that. But calling people idiots just because they're playing defense. But yes, go around them dunk. Show these guys that, hey, this isn't a game. Like, the top player in this gym cannot even step on the court with the 15th guy on a NBA roster. And we know that. So yes, some people are delusional. Okay. Some people are delusional in the NBA. Okay. So that's just the way the world is. You have delusional people in every sector of society. Doesn't matter what field you go into, you have delusional people in said field. So for Austin Rivers, I agree with you right here. Like, people should know, like, hey, this guy's an NBA player. Like, I would not be surprised if Austin Rivers comes to the gym and scores 12 points straight and we are going to 12, or we go to 10 and he scores 12 points straight. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, okay, I expect that. He's Austin Rivers. He's supposed to score every single point in here. So for them guys to be like, wow, I didn't think you were that good. Yeah, that does show how people don't realize how good NBA players are. And sometimes that can be a slap to the face to NBA players. But yeah, some guys just don't get it. Some guys just don't get it at all.
But people like have this delusion because they wear like they got the ants on at James Harden lows and they got their elite socks and they got their little spandex elbow and they watch YouTube clips and play 2K. And because everywhere you can play basketball.
Now, this is so, this elitist attitude Austin Rivers had. They have James Harden lows. They have their Currys on. Like, this should be exclusive to NBA players. The way that he says it makes it sound like this should be exclusive to NBA players. Now that the general public, the fans, the people who play basketball have access to this, now they think that they're better than what they are. So they really shouldn't have access to it. He didn't say that, but that's what he's saying. And that's what I'm reading when he's saying. This is funny though. This is absolutely hilarious.
When you go to a local park, I'm looking at a park right now with 8 guys right now shooting. One of those guys thinks he has a chance. It's just, it's the most delusional sport of all the sports.
Okay. What's wrong with, we should be happy. I don't know why Austin Rivers isn't happy that a ton of people are playing basketball. Like, why are you, that was the goal of basketball. That is literally the goal of basketball, to get more people into the sport, to make the sport a global game, to build more parks so people and kids and young men and women can get into the game of basketball and perfect their craft. Even though it's a small chance that they go to the NBA, the sport is just so enjoyable. People enjoy it because it's a great sport, i.e., that's why you get paid all the money that you get paid when you played in the NBA. I.e., that's why people know who you are, Austin Rivers, because people play basketball. Now, if people did not play basketball, people would not watch basketball. If people did not watch basketball, you would not be Austin Rivers today. What you did in the NBA, it wouldn't mean nothing. You wouldn't even get paid the way that you get paid. When NBA players start to talk like this, they really show how disconnected they are from everyday life. They really show how disconnected they are. Without the people, without the fans, Austin Rivers, you're nothing. You're not Austin Rivers. You're just a guy who's good at basketball, and you wouldn't get paid the way that you get paid. So you better be happy. You better be ecstatic. You better be jumping around when you see 8 people playing outside. Because when people stop playing basketball, people stop watching basketball, people no longer have interest in basketball. And if people no longer have interest in basketball, you are basically out of a job. That's the reason you have a podcast, because people are interested in basketball, not just NBA players, but the fans, the people who don't play basketball. NBA players, people who get in these high positions and make it to the top of the top in whatever craft that they are in, they forget that they are nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing without the people. You need the people to be something. And Austin Rivers, that's why you are Austin Rivers today, because the people. Literally because the people. People enjoy basketball. People, I'm twisting my words here because this is really getting me a little bit fired up, because it makes me upset a little bit when I see NBA players talk this way, because they discredit how much the fans make them who they are. Without the fans, you're nothing. Like, I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and I was in great disappointment because there is no basketball infrastructure in Wilmington, North Carolina. And you know who's from Wilmington, North Carolina? Michael Jordan. But no basketball infrastructure. I was thinking parks, recreation gyms, a Michael Jordan rec center, something should be there, but nothing at all. And nobody's playing basketball in Wilmington. That's a issue. When you have one of the greatest players ever, there should be parks, there should be rec centers, all of that stuff should be there. But once you have people talking like Austin Rivers, why build a park? I mean, why NBA players? Why build a park for these guys? Like, nah, I don't want that. People should not be able to enjoy the sport and get into the sport. But I guess he's just trying to tackle the delusion when it comes to basketball. Yes, maybe people do have more of a delusion when it comes to the game of basketball, because NBA players make it so easy and make it seem like it's not that much effort to be given in an NBA game. You guys just make it look simple and easy. So other people think they can do it, versus something like the NFL, where it's extremely aggressive. People get hurt and people don't like to get hit. Okay. You're not getting hit like that in the NBA. So fans, outsiders, look at the NBA and say, hey, man, yeah, I can do that. It looks easy, but in reality, it's not easy at all. That's why only a small percentage of the population has that ability or has that chance to go to the NBA. So yeah, do I agree that this might be one of the most delusional sports in mankind in history? Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Austin Rivers, on that.
Of all the sports,
it's the sport we always say too. We're like, could this guy plug in? We always do it with our friends too. You'll hear them talking. They'll say, if I played in a game 40 minutes, how many points would I score? But we don't
how
do
many
that
points
with
would I
other sports.
score? Bro, you suck. You wouldn't score any. Now listen, if we let you open the whole game, I love it. Like, yo, if I was open, I would make one of them. You're not going to be open. It's a basketball game. I'm just going to guard you and take the ball from you, dog.
Okay, man. Yeah, that's it, man. That's funny. But NBA players, respect the fans, respect people have the desire to play basketball, because you are who you are today because people have a desire to play basketball, and a desire to play basketball gives them the desire to watch basketball, And the desire from watching basketball helps them play basketball. That's why you're seeing a ton of people play basketball. And to be honest, in my city, I'm not seeing a ton of people outside playing basketball like I was when I was growing up. Of course, I was a kid. Then people are old. People have jobs. Okay. People got to go to work and stuff like that. But respect the fans. Okay. Don't belittle the fans. Don't talk down on the fans. Respect the people who like the game of basketball. You should be glad that people enjoy this beautiful game. Until next time, guys. Peace.